Take me to the King. Truth is, I'm tired. Options are few. I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm all church now, hurt and abused. I can't think what's left to do. Truth is, I'm weak, no strength to fight, no tears to cry, even if I try. But still my soul, it refuses to die. Oh no, 'cause one touch will change my life. Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne and leave me there alone. To gaze upon your glory and sing to you this song. Please take me to the King. Truth is, it's time to stop playing these games. We need a word for the people's pain. So y'all speak right now. Let it pour like rain. We're desperate. We're chasing after you. No rules, no religion. I've made my decision to run to you, the healer that I need. Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received a gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
Kafar, to cover, cancel, disannul, forgive, put off, reconcile, to atone, atonement. How does one achieve atonement? How does one reconcile the actions performed in his body? Must he sacrifice his firstborn? Must I give all my substance to prove my undying love to my Elohim? Hear, O Israel, Yahweh thy Elohim is one. And you shall love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Am I acutely aware of what's truly in my heart? Am I able to quantify the inner workings of my soul? And am I able to measure the true abilities of my strength? Do I stand straight-faced to my Elohim and proclaim that I have done my best? Do I even understand that he who formed me from the womb understands the limitations of this flesh? Am I ashamed to open up my heart unto you? Do I present a facade of happiness when my soul is a deep shade of blue? Oh, you know, my God. If I trust in you with all I am, you won't leave me when times get hard. What can I hide from you? And where can I go that you can't see? I am what I am, but I want to be what you want me to be. I confess my sins before you, never leaving out details of pertinence. For I know you see, and I know you gonna tell your servant. Tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I love him. Tell him I'm gonna do better because I know that I can. Tell him because he laid down, I have the ability to stand. Please accept my offering, even though it's in a blemished state. I offer unto you my heart. It's been broken, so I return it unto he from which it was made. Forgive me for what I put in it, and take out what don't need to be. So when the last trump blows, you like what you see. Let's begin today in Ezekiel chapter 3. Today's sermon is entitled Matters of the Heart.
Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that you find it. Eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
First, you got to consume it. Then you go speak it. See, we're ready to speak before we have consumed. We still got food hanging out our mouth, and we ready to talk. Your mom ever tell you don't talk with food in your mouth? What you talking for? You have those that are ready to teach, and they ain't got through eating yet. He said eat. Then go speak. You should be able to notice when people are talking and they ain't got through eating. Because food flying out of their mouth. Wrong. Finish eating before you talk to me. Go ahead.
So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause your belly to eat, and fill your bowels with this roll that I give you. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get you unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For you art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel.
Right. So I don't need to give you the gift of speaking in tongues. You don't need to speak in another language. But these people who you about to speak to, oh, they hard of hearing. You don't need to know but one language. But boy, you're going to have to speak it. Go ahead.
Not to many people of a strange and of an hard language, whose words you cannot understand. Surely, had I sent you to them, they would have hearkened unto you.
Imagine that. If I sent you to strange people of a strange speech, they would have hearkened unto me. They would listen to you and hear my words. But these people, they intelligent, but can't figure out what's standing right in front of them. Go ahead.
Verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto you, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impotent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made your face strong against their faces, and your forehead strong against their foreheads.
I have to make you strong to deal with this people. This is my family, my house of Israel, but you're going to have to be strong to deal with them. These ain't no regular people right here. So get ready for looks, get ready for all that, but don't you be afraid. Go ahead.
Verse 9. As an adamant harder than flint have I made your forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks.
Right. If you're one of those that get shook just because somebody looking at you, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot of work for Yahweh. I can tell you that now. You go ahead and punch in the time clock. Go ahead and punch out. Because let me tell you something. Sitting back here, well, we sit. We see every scripture that bothers somebody. And if they think I'm going to stop reading it because it hurt, you got the wrong man. You got the right plan. You just got the wrong man. Them looks ain't going to mean nothing to me. So if you bothered by looks, go do something else. This ain't for you. Thus says Yahweh. Look, don't be afraid. Because this ain't no normal people you about to deal with. They peculiar. They'll smile when they sad and frown when they happy. Go ahead, bro.
though they be a rebellious house. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto you, receive in your heart, and hear within your ears. And go, get you to them of the captivity, unto the children of your people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Right, they have ears. But you know, Israel just decide which things we are going to accept. See. Go ahead.
Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of Yahweh from his place. I heard also the noise of the wings of the living creatures that touch one another, and the noise of the wheels over against them, and a noise of a great rushing. So the Spirit lifted me up, and took me away, and I went in bitterness, in the heat of my spirit. But the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me. Then I came to them of the captivity at Tel Abib, that dwelt by the river of Chebar. And I sat where they sat, and remained there astonished among them 7 days. And it came to pass at the end of 7 days, that the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made you a watchman unto the house of Israel.
It says he sat there astonished among them 7 days. We can't wait 7 minutes. If stuff don't happen with us right away, oh no, this was a bad plan. Because I've been here 36 minutes, 17 seconds. Ain't nothing happened. So surely Yahweh made a mistake. He must have gave me the wrong coordinates. I punched it in my GPS. Right. As soon as we leave, here come the vision. Here come the blessing. And they what? Hey, what's your name at? I was supposed to be coming to what's your name? Oh, he said he had done stayed long enough. Because you didn't show up at the time appointed. Okay, well, you take his blessing then. Here. Right. Matter of fact, here go, you take that job too. Because the job and the blessing go together. Here. You do that. Because they didn't have time to wait. Go ahead.
Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. Verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him not warning.
Right. Why would you not give a person warning? See, that's my friend. Or see, that's gonna make them angry if I say that. So I don't want to tell them that. That may hurt our friendship if I warn the wicked. But when somebody, even when the righteous step in a wicked way, if you don't warn them from that, you being a watchman, you being an understander of the word, you have taken on some responsibility there. Go ahead.
Nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his lawlessness, but his blood will I require at your hand.
I will require his blood at your hand. So we walk around talking about what all we know. 1 minute we ready, we proclaim all our intelligence, not understanding. There's a price to pay for all of that. You can't be smart and stupid at the same time. Soon as something happened, well, I didn't know. I just didn't want to. I wanted to remain neutral. Go ahead.
Yet if you warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness.
There you go. Okay, now we're getting into a whole nother thing. Because it's not the watchman's job to make sure that everybody do what they're supposed to do. It's the watchman's job to make sure that they have heard what they need to hear. Go ahead.
Nor from his wicked way. He shall die in his lawlessness, but you have delivered your soul.
You have delivered your soul because you did what you were supposed to do. I ain't running behind nobody to see if they gonna do this. I ain't running behind nobody to see, hey, did you go here? Did you go there? Did you go? I'm gonna say what I gotta say. See, Jake and Jacana got free will. And they will let you know they got free will. They choose to understand this, choose not to understand this over here. Do what you got to do. It's not my job. Yahweh gonna ask me one question. Did you tell him? Yes, I did. All right, next. I'm done. Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 20. Again, when a righteous man does turn from his righteousness and commit lawlessness, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die.
Listen, when a righteous man does turn from his righteousness and commits lawlessness. Now check this out. There's steps here. He was in the point of righteousness. Turned from that righteousness. All right. He saw something else. He committed lawlessness. And I lay a stumbling block before him. Whoa. You laid a stumbling block before him? Yeah, because he stepped out of his righteousness. See, he was in the right path. Something got his attention. He stepped off. And we full of things that grab our attention. We everywhere. We like little kids that don't have, control of their neck. When kids don't have control of their neck, they're everywhere. They can't focus on one thing. They're everywhere. As soon as something catch us, boom, we gone. He always said, ooh, sit that right there. Y'all, why you set that right there? Because if his eyes is open, he going to clearly see that stumbling block right there. I mean, everybody else saw it. I laid that right there and everybody else stepped over it. Let's see if Jimmy step over it. Right. But then when Jimmy fall, he got an excuse for everything. No, well, see what had happened was, and this. Well, why 30 other people stepped over it, Jimmy, and nobody fell but you? Why you the only one on the ground, Jimmy? Go ahead, bro.
Even with that, I'm looking at that point. He says you step away and he lay a stumbling block. There's a period of time there for you to get back on the path.
Of course it is. See? But you know what? We so smart and we so arrogant and we so proud, can't nobody tell us nothing. So anytime somebody is trying to coerce us to get back on the path, we mark those people enemies. Ain't nothing worse than trying to save somebody who don't want to be saved. Or trying to save somebody who don't think they need saving. But you know how many people strung out that still telling themselves, I can stop this at any time. Right. Sure you can. Sure you can. Go ahead, bro.
Because you have not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done shall not be remembered.
Shall not be remembered. So you burnt up all those works. So in the day that you decide to turn from your righteousness, don't come to Yahweh talking about, you remember that thing I did in 1997? What thing? You remember that thing? I did a great thing. No, you set that on fire. That's burnt up. Go ahead.
But his blood will I require to your hand. Nevertheless, if you warn the righteous man, that the righteous man sin not.
Right. Now, if you warn the righteous man that he sin not, consider. Now, he hasn't even fallen because you warned him while he was still standing in righteousness. Go ahead.
And he does not sin, he shall surely live, because he's warned. Also, you have delivered your soul.
You have delivered your soul in keeping the righteous man righteous. But you know how difficult it is to talk to somebody before they've done something? I don't know what you're talking about. If you warn the righteous man, hey, this is a slippery path right here. Be careful on this path. He can decide to listen or not. Because at this point, he has not fallen. He has no reason to really believe you. He has no reason to believe that you know what the hell you're talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And the hand of Yahweh was there upon me, and he said unto me, Arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with you. Then I arose and went forth into the plain, and behold, the glory of Yah stood there, as the glory which I saw by the river of Chebar. and I fell on my face. Then the Spirit entered into me, and set me upon my feet, and spake with me, and said unto me, Go, shut yourself within your house. But you, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon you, and shall bind you with them, and you shall not go out among them.
Now, this stuff they gonna do to you. All right? This, I'm telling you, I'm sending you to some people. I'm gonna make your face harder than a rock, so that you are able to deal with this people, because they peculiar. And I'm telling you, these people gonna try to do something to you. Now imagine Yahweh give you the job, and he's telling you, look, I love you and I love these people. But let me tell you about these people though. You gonna need to be ready. All right? I'm gonna need to give you some gifts to be able to deal with this people. Because they got some power. And all of them don't use their power right. See, we like to watch the movies, you got superheroes and villains. Well, they got powers. Some people use their power for good, and others people use their power to get whatever the hell they want. Wait a second. You watch superheroes and villains every Saturday. All depends on what cape they put on that morning. Read, bro.
And I'll make your tongue cleave to the roof of your mouth, that you shall be dumb.
Check this out. You have the power to do all of these things with your mouth. But when they do this unto you, I'm going to make you go dumb. People keep thinking that Yahweh want everybody to repent and come unto salvation. Now, there's some people that have made themselves so dirty that Yahweh said, salvation will not come to this individual. I will not allow you to talk to them. I will not allow them to hear you, because I will not let them repent, because they have made a decision in their heart, and that's their judgment. I'm going to leave them there. Go ahead.
And shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with you, I will open your mouth.
I'm going to open your mouth when I want you to talk. But you're going to get to the point where you want to reprove them, to try and help them, and I ain't going to let you. So we get to places and situations, and we say, man, I heard all this good word on the Sabbath day, and then you run into somebody, and they said, tell me what makes you such a good believer in Yahweh. And you say, well, all right, I'm going to tell you. You know what? Shalom, brother. Yahweh said no. Everything that you tried to say, it wouldn't come out right. You trying to deal with yourself. That was Yahweh. No. Stop trying to find something to say. He said no, not them. Go ahead.
And you shall say unto them, thus says the Adonai Yah, he that hears, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house.
They are a rebellious house. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 33.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. Again the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of your people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman, if when he sees the sword come upon the land, he blows the trumpet, and warn the people, then whosoever hears the sound of the trumpet, and takes not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
Right. He heard the warning, but he wasn't listening to nobody. Go ahead.
He heard the sound of the trumpet.
He heard the sound of the trumpet. He know what the sound of the trumpet means. Go ahead.
And took not warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
Uh-huh.
But if the watchman see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet.
So the watchman see the trouble. If the watchman does not warn them about the trouble that he sees, and this is a difficult place of the watchman, because the watchman has been exercised in certain things. The watchman has been set on top of the wall. So the watchman sees things that are far off. Imagine that to the person who's standing here. I don't know what you're talking about because I don't see nothing. He on top of the wall. He sees stuff that's 10 miles away. Do you trust in your own ability and say, since I don't see it, it ain't real? Guess what happened by the time it get to you? There ain't no preparing. All you got time to do at that point is to prepare for death. Your time of preparation was when you got the warning from the watchman. But do you even trust the watchman who stands upon the wall? Go ahead.
You know, a lot of times we looking at this whole situation of the watchman and the trouble. And the trouble might just be some of your shortcomings or your deeds that the watchman is trying to bring forth so you can look at yourself so you be not judged in the end.
Why do you think Yahweh choose people who have been through things and they are exercised in things? So when it come down to that, they done already wrestled with them things. But we try to present a straight face like we ain't wrestling with nothing. And everybody say, I ain't wrestling with nothing. I ain't wrestling with nothing. Right. Go ahead, bro.
And the people be not warned. If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his lawlessness, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
See, once again, it's the watchman's job to warn them, not the watchman's job to jump off. Now the watchman's on the wall. All right, he's the watcher. He warns the people of the things that he sees. He's been exercised. He can see things that other people cannot see. When he warns those people, and they say, "Well, we're gonna go on about our business," does the watchman come off the wall to go to those specific individuals to try and compel them to listen? Pause. What's happening with the watchman's job if he come off the wall to come and deal with them? Right. Read.
You know, even with that situation, you got to think about the first watchman was when Yah spoke to Cain. And he warned Cain, hey, sin lies at the door.
Mm-hmm.
But he
beforehand.
He didn't take the watchman's warning.
No, man. No. Not at all. See? If you can't hear directly from Elohim, you can't hear nobody. That's what you call pride and arrogance right there. Go ahead.
Verse 7. So you, O son of man, I have set you a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore you shall hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me.
Hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. Go ahead.
When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, you shall surely die. If you does not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his lawlessness, but his blood will I require at your hand.
Right. And we keep thinking that is something easy when we read this, that you warn the wicked of his way. What if you know the wicked or somebody who was righteous have stepped in a wicked thing, but they are deeply in love with this wicked thing? And Yahweh send you to go over there and talk. You're going to count every step on your way to get to him. Because you know there's going to be an ugly conversation when you get there. Because y'all know we go defense first. Y'all know us. We go defense first. We don't even know what it is. We deny it. Hey, man, did you know? What you talking about? I didn't even finish. I was going to ask you, did you eat? Oh. I know. It seemed accusatory. Go ahead, bro.
Nevertheless, if you warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his lawlessness, but you have delivered your soul. Therefore, O you son of man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus you speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them, how should we then live? Say unto them, as I live, says the Adonai Yah, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked. Yahweh is not combing the earth to see who he can kill. That is not his objective. Go ahead.
But that the wicked turn from his way and live.
That's what Yahweh wants. Turn from that way and live. Go ahead.
Turn you from your evil ways. For why will you die, O house of Israel? Therefore, you son of man, say unto the children of your people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turns from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sins.
Now, this is where we say things unfair. Because now the wicked has turned from his wicked way, but we want to be, wait a minute, I remember some wickedness they did in 1994. Yeah, but they stopped. Now we see, hey, same thing that worked for us got to work for somebody else. Does Yahweh grace and forgiveness only come to your house? Yahweh, please bring grace, forgiveness, and deliverance to 5819 Willoughby Drive, but nowhere else. Right. Read, bro.
When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust to his own righteousness and commit lawlessness, all his righteousness shall not be remembered.
You just set all those works on fire. This is why you continue to work. This is why you can continue to sacrifice. Because you may inadvertently do something and set some works on fire. You off in the, how many times you just be off somewhere, you smell smoke, but you don't see no fire. That was you just burned up one. You done burned up one. You ain't I smell smoke. Right, you done burnt that one to work. Keep working. Go ahead.
But for his lawlessness that he has committed, he shall die for it. Again, when I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right, if the wicked restore the pledge.
Restore the pledge, all right? You can't do something and then not restore that. All you offer is, I'm sorry. All right? But I had a whole car first, and you brought me back a tire. I'm gonna need to. See, I gotta go to work. You understand? I understand you sorry, but I'm gonna need 3 more wheels, an engine, and some seats. You understand? This tire is nice. That is one nice tire you brought here. I'm gonna need 3 more of those on a vehicle that actually crank up. Go ahead.
Give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life. Without committing lawlessness, he shall surely live. He shall not die.
Let me tell you something. Yahweh's so deep with this right here. When I was young, me and my friend were trying to figure out how to steal a car. Right? We didn't know what the hell we were doing. So we go down to the school. We done peeled the whole, cause you get a GM car. You peel the side. I ain't gonna. All right. We ain't gonna okay. So on this car, all right. So you peel the side, but we didn't know what we were doing, right? So we done already tore up the side, and all we had to do was pull the little part out and pull it. It would have crunk up, and then unlock the steering wheel, right? I go to fooling around with some button and hit the horn. We start laughing, take off running, right? Next day, my grandma said, you know somebody tried to break in your auntie car. I said, what? For real? Say it ain't so. Dang. Then I bought a car one time, right? It's my second car. The guy said, hey, sell you this car, sold it to me at a good price, right? He said, but somebody tried to steal it, and they cracked the thing. They did steal it. So you can't crank it up by the key. You got to keep pulling the side. You know the little side that you tear off to steal a GM car. So I had to crank it up with my hand, and it kept hurting my hand to crank it up. I said, man, I got this at a good price. I'm going to get this fixed, right? Every time I got ready to get it fixed, that money, something else would happen, and I couldn't get it fixed. And I finally figured out what it was. Yahweh was like, no. You remember that lady called you to it? Remember that lady called you to it? You stuck with this. I had to drive like that for about 3, 4, 5 years. He would never let me fix. Every time I already knew what was going to happen. I said, all right, I'm going to try to fix this for the 5th time. Boom, something else happened. Cost me $300 to do it. I said, you know what, never again. Never again. I got it. I'm stuck with this problem because of what I did back there. But see, we got selective amnesia. See, we don't remember anything that we've done. So when something comes, we was like, I don't know whatever. What is that for? I haven't done any wrong to anybody. Ever. Right. I was never able to fix that. And it didn't have nothing to do with money. It didn't have nothing to do with nothing else. He wanted me to deal with what I had done. Keep in mind, I ain't know Yahweh at that time. He was God then. Go ahead, bro.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 16. None of his sins that he has committed shall be mentioned unto him. He has done that which is lawful and right. He shall surely live.
Well, I'm going to get some calls after that one right there. Boy, confession is a mug. Go ahead, bro.
Yet the children of your people say, the way of the Adonai is not equal. But as for them, their way is not equal. When the righteous turns from his righteousness and commits lawlessness, he shall even die thereby.
Stop laughing, Eli. You know what I'm saying, bro? Come on, bro. You wasn't squeaky clean when you came down here from New York. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go ahead, bro.
But if the wicked turn from his wickedness and does that which is lawful and right, he shall live thereby. Yet you say, the way of the Adonai is not equal. O you house of Israel, I will judge you everyone after his ways.
I will judge you everyone after his ways. See? But do you even recognize and understand when Yahweh is judging you after your ways? Or do you think it is unfair? Oh, woe is me. Who would do something to such a nice, upstanding individual like myself? Read, man.
And it came to pass in the 12th year of our captivity, in the 10th month, in the 5th day of the month, that one that had escaped out of Jerusalem came unto me, saying, the city is smitten. Now the hand of Yahweh was upon me in the evening, afore he that was escaped came, and had opened my mouth, until he came to me in the morning, and my mouth was opened, and I was no more dumb. Then the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, they that inhabit those waste of the land of Israel speak, saying, Abraham was one, and he inherited the land, but we are many. The land is given us for inheritance.
Right. This is where we start to get our boastful and our Israel tribal connection. See, I just found out that I am natural Israel, So, and the promises was given to us. So I'm going to pretty much do what I want to do because I got the promise. See, we can't take this. You don't know my Elohim at all. Because Yahweh will kill you off and bring you a toddler. Say, oh no, I just needed somebody from your family. Come on, kid. Come on. Yeah, they gonna raise you. What? He didn't need you to raise your kid. He took your kid and let somebody else raise him. Now your bloodline is represented in the kingdom, but you're not there. And you didn't raise that kid. Find somebody else to play with, because my God not it. Go ahead.
Wherefore say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, you eat with the blood, and lift up your eyes toward your idols, and shed blood. And shall you possess the land? You stand upon your sword, you work abomination, and you defile everyone his neighbor's wife. And shall you possess the land?
Shall you possess the land and you do all these things? No, you ain't making it in. Go ahead.
Say you thus unto them, Thus says the Adonai Yah, as I live, surely they that are in the wastes shall fall by the sword, and him that is in the open field will I give to the beast to be devoured, and they that be in the forts and in the caves shall die of the pestilence. For I will lay the land most desolate, and the pomp of her strength shall cease, and the mountains of Israel shall be desolate, that none shall pass through. Then shall they know that I am Yahweh, when I have laid the land most desolate because of all their abominations which they have committed. Also, you son of man, the children of your people still are talking against you by the walls.
They doing what?
Talking against you.
They're talking against who?
Yeah, the righteous man.
Of course. You know, it's amazing. When I was in the street and did dirt, I didn't have people talking about me. Man, you stop doing dirt and you get people talking the most mess about you. It is amazing. Go ahead.
Also, you son of man, the children of your people still are talking against you by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that comes forth from Yahweh.
Yeah. They be like, man, I can't stand him. Oh, wait a minute, he on. Let's listen to him. But I can't stand him, though. Go ahead.
And they come unto you as the people cometh, and they sit before you as my people.
They sit before you as my people. They pretending. They sit before you like they my people. They really not. Go ahead.
And they hear your words, but they will not do them.
Uh-huh.
For with their mouth they show much love.
Oh, have the most glorious of sayings. Go ahead.
But their heart goes after their covetousness.
Mm-hmm.
And lo, you are unto them as a very lovely song.
We just heard a very lovely song. Go ahead.
Of one that has a pleasant voice.
Of one that had a pleasant voice. You gonna read it? Do I need to direct you, bro? What the hell going on now?
And can play well on an instrument.
We heard good instruments.
For they hear your words,
Uh-huh.
but they do them not.
Right. So we can't treat the word of Yahweh like it's a song. It's only jamming when it's on. After the song go off, it's over. All the emotions was only connected when the song was playing. But when the song is over, it's over. If the word leave you once you stop reading, there's something wrong. Go ahead.
And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them.
Then will they know a prophet has been among them. But all these things have to come to pass. See, Israel, one of those group of people who look for signs. So they can't know. This is why it's so difficult to tell Israel or talk to Israel before something has come to pass. We got to see the explosion and the fire. And then we be like, oh, that's what they were talking about. That's what they meant by combustible. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 5. That's us. Oh, yeah, we hindsight. We hindsight kind of people. But see, Yahweh give you a difficult job. He make you go talk about some stuff before it happened. Now imagine that though. Yahweh forces you to go and speak about something that has not happened so that he can warn the people of their path. If they straighten up their path, then it doesn't happen. Do the people then think that you were a liar and a hypocrite? 2 Kings chapter 5, let's start at that verse 1, bro.
Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master, and honorable, because by him Yahweh had given deliverance unto Syria. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. And the Syrians had gone out by companies and had brought away a captive out of the land of Israel, a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife.
Right. Now, this right here explains how it is important how you treat everybody. So you find some people that can only be cordial to certain people. They can only be cordial to people that are of a certain level in society. There's no reason to be nice to the little maid servant girl. But obviously somebody's nice to her because she wants to do something for these people who she works for. Go ahead.
And she said unto her mistress, Would Elohim my master were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. And one went in and told his master,
Now,
saying,
what did she say? Would to Elohim my master were with the prophet that's in Samaria, not the king that is in Samaria. So the little girl know where deliverance comes from. Go ahead.
And one went in and told his master, saying, Thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, Go, and I'll send a letter on to the king of Israel. And he departed, and took with him 10 talents of silver, and 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 changes of raiment.
And the king of Syria said, Go to, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. He didn't say the prophet. That's not what you see. How you see what people do. Now you can't tell him he ain't doing the right thing. You see, I'm going down to the king, speak to a king. You understand? Mm-hmm. That's not what the little girl said. So now you about to ask the king some things that he cannot do. Go ahead.
And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, Now when this letter is come on to you, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to you, that you may recover him of his leprosy.
Mm-hmm. He sent this to the king now. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes, and said, Am I Elohim, to kill and to make alive, that this man does send on to me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeks a quarrel against me.
Right. He said, look, this man trying to go to war, and he gonna start it by asking me some impossible thing, and then when I can't do it, hey, it's some soldiers standing outside your gate. Go ahead.
And it was so, when Elisha the man of Elohim had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, Wherefore have you rent your clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel.
Which is exactly what the little girl said. The little girl didn't say nothing about the king. The little girl was talking about the prophet. Go ahead.
So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall come again to you, and you shall be clean.
All right, but watch human nature.
But Naaman was angry, and went away, and said, Behold, I thought, he will surely come out to me, and stand, and call on the name of Yahweh his Elohim, and strike his hand over the place, and recover the leper.
Right. Naaman said, I want you to do it this way. Imagine going to the doctor and then be mad. Do you know anything about this? No. Why are you going to direct me in how to do it? Were you here where you were? But see, this is us. This is human nature right here. Ain't there better rivers to wash in? Go ahead.
Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean?
You see this? Because it looked like it's a better a body of water physically. Yeah, but it don't have the spiritual things in it that our water got in. You need to wash over here. Go ahead.
So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spake unto him, and said, My father, if the prophet had bid you do some great thing, would you not have done it?
Right. If he had told you to go get 100 foreskins of somebody, you would have went and killed all them people. There you go. Killed all them. Now recover me of this leprosy. Go ahead.
How much rather then, when he says to you, wash and be clean?
Because that's too simple. You can't tell me that this man has had this issue for all this time and it's going to clear up like this. Go ahead.
Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of Elohim. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean.
Mm-hmm.
And he returned to the man of Elohim, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, now I know that there is no El in all the earth but in Israel. Now therefore, I pray you, take a blessing of your servant.
You know, you have to, it's amazing when somebody is in a situation, has an issue, but you got to prove to them that it is worth them seeing about this issue. Imagine a person having leprosy and telling you, I ain't got no problem. Okay, if your skin white and you are white, you don't have a problem. But if you black and your skin white, you have a problem. There's definitely a situation. You have to do this with Israel all the time. You got to prove to Israel that they have an issue. Go ahead.
But he said, as Yahweh lives, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray you, be given to your servant 2 mules, burden of the earth? For your servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto Yahweh. In this thing Yahweh pardon your servant, that when my master goes into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow down myself in the house of Rimmon, Yahweh pardon your servant in this thing.
Because of my job, I'm going to have to be in the house of this other God. Please pardon me. Why? Because look, you have healed me. I am not being disrespectful unto you, Yahweh. You are my Elohim. But because of my job, I'm going to be in the house of another God. Please understand that I'm not worshiping that other God. I am there because my job makes me be there. Do we operate like that? Go ahead, brother.
And he said unto him, go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of Elohim, said, behold, my master has spared Naaman the Syrian, in not receiving at his hand that which he brought. But as Yahweh lives, I will run after him and take somewhat of him.
Right. This is that vindictive thing. How you just gonna come over here and get a gift from Israel and he ain't give nothing? He got something. We gonna go get that stuff there. Go ahead.
So Gehazi followed after Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, is all well? And he said, all is well. My master has sent me, saying, behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray you, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments.
Now, is this worth your salvation? At some point, we have to consider the things that we get off into. Is it worth your salvation? We will get into all these things. We think, we feel, we believe. Is it worth your salvation? Go ahead.
And Naaman said, be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, with 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand, and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But when he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, whence come you, Gehazi? And he said, your servant went no whither. And he said unto him, went not mine heart with you, when the man turned again from his chariot to meet you? Is it a time to receive money, and to receive garments, and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and men servants, and maid servants? The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto you.
Listen.
And unto your seed forever.
Right. Go ahead.
And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow.
So then there's a whole group of white people that are supposed to be black. Every last one of their descendants. If you white, you supposed to be white. That's what that is. But if you black and you white, it says it's going to cleave to his seed forever. Being vindictive and trying to do our own thing, you end up getting a curse that was somebody else's healing. That curse then cleaved unto him forever because of how he decided to deal with those things. Let's go to Numbers chapter 30. See, remember, what does it say? The punishment of a lie is whatever you intended to happen unto the other individual. So as he has lied and went to go and get some gain, he has then gotten the thing that was taken from that individual. Numbers chapter 30, and let's read verses 1 through 16.
And Moshe spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. If a man vow a vow unto Yah, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word.
Right, this is hell. A man has no excuse whatsoever as to why he did not perform the things that proceeded out of his mouth. Yahweh ain't trying to hear it. So don't come to Yahweh with no bunch of excuses. Well, see, this is why, that's why, because. He ain't trying to hear it. Did you vow? Did you say you were going to do this? Well, why it's not done then? Go ahead.
He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman also vow a vow
Now,
unto Yahweh,
Yahweh then shows you the difference between the vow of a man and the vow of a woman. Go ahead.
and bind her soul by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she has bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he hears, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. And Yahweh shall forgive her.
Yahweh shall forgive her. So then there is a law of the husband and law of the father that then stands and overrides any vow that the woman makes. Man don't have that protection. So when you receive a job, you have entered into a vow to do that job. Ain't no excuse to Yahweh. Well, no, I had to go, go see a cat about a dog, and I couldn't make it. Right. Go ahead.
Because her father disallowed her. Verse 6. And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it.
Her husband heard it. Go ahead.
And held his peace at her.
But he ain't saying that. See, you got some men scared of their wife. Man, about to say something in here, you go, and I don't know, we ain't want to hear all that. Yeah, but the day you held your peace, when you heard it, she is now bound to it because you didn't open your mouth. Go ahead.
And held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her...
Now, if it stands, that means she cannot be forgiven for not doing that thing. She gonna go into judgment for that. Now, she going into judgment, not directly because she didn't do it. She's going into judgment because you didn't open your mouth and disallow it because you know she wasn't gonna be able to do it the day you heard it. That's on you. Go ahead.
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect.
But you see how Yahweh worked? On the day. Yahweh said, man got to be a man and move right there. See, we want to contemplate and meditate on Hey, man, time going away, brother. When that sun go down, that day over with. She bound to that. Because you decided not to open your mouth.
Well, this ain't a good time. She don't really feel like talking right now.
Right. Go ahead, brother.
You know, you just brought up an interesting point about the day ticking away. Because a lot of us might have the perception it's that very minute or second.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you got to recap the day before the day is done.
Exactly.
And they say, wait a minute, wait, I heard something today that didn't sound right.
There you
Let
go.
let me take care of this business right
There you
now.
go. You see a brother and he'd be like, man, something going down. You know what? I got to go, Zop. Why? Got to go home and just thought about something. Where you going? He got to go take care of some business. You know, I just figured out I heard some stuff and I heard from a bird that wasn't right. I need to go take care of that. Look like the sun going down. Let me go take care of this business. Go ahead, bro.
And Yahweh shall forgive her.
Uh-huh. So your wife's forgiveness is hanging on you. You gonna be a man or you gonna put on the dress with her? Both of y'all got a skirt on. Read, man.
But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, or wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not.
No, he ain't gonna say nothing. He heard it, but he ain't gonna say nothing. Go ahead.
Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Judgment is coming to her because you didn't open your mouth. Go ahead.
But if her husband has utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeds out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. For her husband has made them void, and Yahweh shall forgive her.
Yahweh shall forgive her because he stood up like a man and voided it. But you know, sometimes we get stuck in the kissy love road.
See, I don't want to say this, and then later on I miss kissy love time. You know what I'm saying? Because when she's angry, she don't like kissy love. So I'm gonna keep this to myself. Maybe we'll talk about this on Wednesday.
No, it's too late. Her soul is bound at that point. So if you so worried about kissy love time, you don't let somebody go into judgment because you worry about your comfort. But at the same time, we proclaim we the head of the house. Well, sometimes you got to be willing to be the ugly head in the house. Remember that point where Moshe's wife said,
You are a bloody man unto me because of this circumcision.
hey man, he didn't care what she said. At the end of the day, he had to take care of that business, or Yahweh was going to take care of him and his whole family. So at what point do you take care of the business at hand? Or you tiptoeing around your own house? Read, man.
Verse 13. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void.
Right. See, but you got this the newfound woman.
No, see, me and my husband, we are equals. See? We both have to agree on everything before we can go forward.
Oh, yeah? Tell it to Yahweh. Tell him he must have made a mistake. This gets very difficult when you have a righteous woman who does not have a righteous husband. This gets very interesting. And that causes that woman to have to deal with some things for a longer period of time. But don't fret. Yahweh got your back. He will deal with some things. But you might have to clock in. But he will deal with some things. Go ahead.
But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he established all her vows.
He established it by not opening his mouth. Go ahead.
Or all her bonds, which are upon her. He confirms them because he held his peace.
He confirms them. Y'all ain't gonna say, excuse me, brother, is this your signature? No, I didn't sign that. Yes, you did. You signed it right here. I didn't sign that. Did you say anything? No, well then you signed it. When you held your peace, you signed this right here. Because you ain't open your mouth, you signed it. This agreement is in full effect. Because you didn't open your mouth. See, we need to understand what true peace is. We can't have peace by agreeing with wrongdoing. That's not peace at all. I'd rather have a righteous fight than a fake peace any day. Go ahead, bro.
Because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall in any ways make them void after that he has heard them, then he shall bear her lawlessness. These are the statutes which Yahweh commanded Moshe between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house.
Right. So if the woman has had a father, this whole concept of covering her sin should not be a strange concept to her. Because she just went from one house to another house with the same covering. The covering was by her father. Now the covering is coming from her husband. But this gets interesting when we get women out of a house who didn't have no daddy in the house. But you know, we don't ask those kind of questions. We just look and say, girl, you look good. Good God Almighty. We ain't ask no questions. See? We didn't ask no question. Tell me about your relationship with your mom and your dad. We ain't ask no questions. By the time we do, it's already too late anyway. So we done already said, I do, we did, we done. And let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. And see, what we have to understand, Yahshua said to the woman at the well, go and call your husband. What was that? See, go and call your husband. She said, I want to drink from this water that you never get thirsty again. I want that water. All right, you want to enter into this covenant? Go call your husband. What? Go call your husband. Go call him. Then we can enter off into this talk here. He already knew she had a sketchy past. See, there ain't nothing you gonna hide from Yahweh. There ain't nothing you gonna hide from Yahshua. He already knew that she had a sketchy past. That's why he said, go call your husband.
Well, okay. Well, husband. Okay, this is okay. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Let me talk. Let me say something. Let me talk. Okay. So a husband per se, I don't have. I got a man friend. I mean, a man that's friendly. I mean, a real friendly man. You know what I'm saying? Right.
1 Peter chapter 3. And let's start that at verse 1.
Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that, if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. So then there is a way that those holy women operated. See, we watch a whole lot of things on TV, and we see a whole lot of things, especially when we watch them black love channels. Man, the stuff on them black love channels, bro, we got some issues. And our people begin to think that that's normal operation. Go ahead.
Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel.
Now, it didn't say that this was wrong or something. A woman always adorned herself, but if this is what you're counting on, if there's no inner beauty, all of the outer stuff is made void. There's sometimes when you see somebody and you say, oh my God, that person is beautiful. Then they open their mouth and you be like, wow, that beauty just changed. Go ahead.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit.
A meek and quiet spirit is a beautiful thing. Go ahead.
Which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in Elohim, adorned themselves.
The holy women in old time adorned themselves in a meek and quiet spirit. Go ahead.
Being in subjection unto their own husbands.
But if the husband don't say nothing, they ain't got nothing to listen to. So woman can say, I listen to him. What'd he say? Nothing. That's how it's so easy to listen to him. Because he ain't say nothing. Nothing for nothing leaves nothing. Go ahead.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Adonai.
Calling him master.
Pardon me.
Calling him master. She wasn't confused who the head of her house was. Go ahead.
Whose daughters you are, as long as you do well, and are not afraid with any amazement.
So then you have daughters of Sarah, and then you got some other daughters. Go ahead.
Likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayer be not hindered.
Okay, so if you don't deal with your wife correctly, your prayers can be hindered. Deal with them according to knowledge. According to knowledge, we just read what Yahweh has already had in the law. Have you dealt accordingly? Well, you may be hindering your own prayers. Go ahead.
Finally, be you all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing.
Right. This is where we make excuses for sin right here. Go ahead.
But contrariwise, blessing, knowing that you are thereunto called, that you should inherit a blessing. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it.
And do we do that? Go ahead.
For the eyes of the Adonai are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Adonai is against them that do evil.
For the eyes of the Adonai are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But he also said, if you don't deal with this according to knowledge, your prayers have been hindered. Go ahead.
And who is he that will harm you, if you be followers of that which is good? And if you suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are you. And be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify the Adonai Elohim in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that, whereas they speak evil of you, as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in the Mashiach. For it is better, if the will of Elohim be so, that you suffer for well-doing than for evil doing.
We don't want to suffer at all. Yet we want to take hold of the blood of Yahshua, who suffered for absolutely nothing that he had done wrong. But we ain't willing to suffer nothing from nobody. But I want all the joy that comes with Yahshua suffering. But I ain't suffering nothing. I ain't dealing with nothing. I ain't taking nothing. There's something wrong with that. Go ahead.
That was verse 17.
That was it. Let's go to James chapter 2. James chapter 2, and let's start that at verse 1.
My brethren, have not the faith of our Adonai Yahshua HaMashiach the adney of glory with respect of persons.
Uh-huh.
For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring in goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment, and you have respect to him that wears the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit you here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand you there, or sit here under my footstool. Are you not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts?
Right. He saw by their actions that they were entertaining evil thoughts. He said, I can tell by the things that you are doing that you are entertaining some thoughts that are not well. By where you place those two individuals, I can tell by what's in your head. You ain't got to say it out of your mouth. I watch your actions. See, before anybody does something, there's a thought that happens. Before you went and got up and got some water, there was a thought. You know what? I'm thirsty. Then you got up and went to go get some water. Before you decided to place those people where you placed them, it was a thought. He knew the thought based on the actions. Go ahead.
Hearken, my beloved brethren. Has not Elohim chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he has promised to them that love him? But you have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? Do not they blaspheme that worthy name by which you are called? If you fulfill the royal law, according to the scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, you do well.
Right. Now we have a big problem right there. But we have absolutely no problem approaching unto the throne of grace, telling Yahshua and Yahweh what we want, what we need. Go ahead.
But if you have respect to persons, you commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors.
If you have respect to persons, you commit sin. I'll listen to this brother, but I ain't going to listen to that brother over there. I'll shalom this sister, but I ain't going to shalom that sister over there. Entertaining evil thoughts. Go ahead.
For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now if you commit no adultery, yet if you kill, you are become a transgressor of the law.
Right. What difference do it make what you went to jail for? Ain't you in the same jail?
Oh man, I don't kick it with no murderers.
But you in prison too. Oh yeah, no, I'm a thief. Oh, so you better than the murderers? I'd like to think so. But ain't y'all in the same cell? Yeah, but I don't talk to him like that. Right. Congratulations. But y'all in the same jail though. Go ahead.
So speak you, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that has showed no mercy.
He will have judgment without mercy for those who have had judgment without mercy. See, there's some that they ain't never done nothing wrong. They ain't never got to apologize to nobody. He's going to have judgment without mercy for those who have had judgment without mercy. I don't owe nobody an apology, but everybody owe me one. Okay. Go ahead.
And mercy rejoiceth against judgment. What does it profit, my brethren, though a man say he has faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be you warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body, what does it profit? Even so faith, if it has not works, is dead, being alone. Yes, a man may say, you have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe it that there is one Elohim. You does well. The devils also believe and tremble. But will you know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works, when he had offered Esaac his son upon the altar? Seeth you how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Elohim, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
You see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only.
Right.
Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works, when she had received the messengers, and had sent them out another way? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
Your works are your deeds. Okay? So, saying that you believe in Yahweh and all of these things, but then when it's time to perform anything in the body, there's a problem. You have a big problem with Yahweh. When it's time to show love unto your brother and sister and your love is depleted, there's a problem. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 16. See, none of us are perfect, but there's a process whereby we should be going through some changes. If you've gone through Passover and atonement after atonement, and you still have the same mindset as you had the day you walked in here, something's wrong. But we'll blame that on everybody else.
You know what? This place ain't growing.
No, you not growing. Why are you the same? We may not be what we're supposed to be, but we shouldn't be the same as what we were. Deuteronomy 16, and let's read verses 18 through 20.
Judges and officers shall you make you in all your gates, which Yahweh your El gives you throughout your tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment.
They shall judge the people with just judgment. But what happens if you don't trust the judge? And do you not trust the judge because there's something wrong with the judgment? Or you just don't trust anything that doesn't happen right in your favor? Go ahead.
You shall not wrest judgment.
You shall not cause judgment to decline. Go ahead.
You shall not respect persons.
And see, respect the persons does that. See, we can offer judgment against this person, but not against that one, because I like them. See, they my friend. Oh, so judgment changes because it's your friend? Go ahead.
Neither take a gift, for a gift does blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous.
Right. And sometimes the gift is our gift of acceptance and friendship. See, this is why my elder used to warn us about cliques. See, the deeper people get off into cliques, the harder it is to offer righteous judgment within inside of that clique. Go ahead.
That which is altogether just shall you follow, that you may live and inherit the land which Yahweh your El gives you.
Right. That which is altogether just shall you follow, that you may live and inherit the land which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. We have instructions on dealing with those things, and Yahweh is going to hold us to it because righteousness has to be performed in that land. Let's go to Exodus chapter 23. Exodus chapter 23, and let's read verses 1 through 9.
You shall not raise a false report. Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shall you speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. If you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again.
Will we do that? Because see, what we like to do is we use any wrongdoing or what we perceive to be wrongdoing from somebody else as an excuse for us to do something.
Well, see, I haven't sinned. See, because they did something that I didn't like, so therefore I did something that they didn't like.
That's why he says railing for railing. Say, did you you saw your enemy's ox? This is what we do. Enemy's ox over there.
I didn't see it.
It's amazing how that spasm in your neck happened. Your brother's ox was to the right, and you had a convenient neck spasm that made you look the other way. It's amazing how that happened. Keep letting your pocket God fool you. Go ahead, bro.
If you see the ass of him that hates you lying under his burden,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. It's not there. Read, brother.
and would forbear to help him, you shall surely help with him. You shall not rest the judgment of your poor in his cause.
Right.
Keep you far from a false matter,
Uh-huh.
and the innocent and righteous slay you not.
I didn't see it.
For I will not justify the wicked.
Right. I will not justify the wicked. You play as many games as you want. Keep letting your pocket guard fool you. Y'all ain't not playing. You will not inherit the land. Why go through all this if we're not going to give our whole heart? You can still have fun if you leave now. Why go through this? Why? If you're not going to give Yahweh your whole heart, don't give him none of it. Because he all or nothing kind of Elohim. When you come with that little bottom left portion.
You can have this, Yahweh.
Take that back. Take that. Take that. Don't bring that here. He's not going to accept that. Go ahead, brothers. You finish.
Verse 8, and you shall take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise
Uh-huh.
and perverts the words of the righteous.
A gift. What gift have we accepted that causes us not to deal with righteous judgment? But we can see righteous judgment over here in somebody else's house. What causes us not to be able to see it in the houses of the ones that we are very close to? See, I've had to turn my own family away at these doors. And everybody sitting there looking at me like, oh, did he just? You think Yahweh care if that was my family? You think Yahweh gonna say, well, there are rules?
But that was hot.
No, he ain't. There's times when one of my family members got in here and they wasn't wrapped right. And I had to holler at two of my associate priests. Hey, come here, let me talk to y'all. How'd she get in here? So in front of them all, I had to deal with my closest family. Excuse me, but we have a code in here. Oh, I'm sorry. Just get up. Yeah, I got love for you, but I'm gonna love you outside. That rule didn't change because it was my family. And damn it, the rules ain't gonna change because it's yours. Got family that had issues, decided that they wasn't gonna take no medication. That's fine. You just can't come here. I still love you, but I'm gonna love you outside. Go ahead, brother.
No, I just, even to deal with what you're saying too. I mean, Yeshua said, my brother, my sister, those that share in this word with me. His mother, his own mother and brother was outside asking for him.
Right. So he didn't change that because it was his mama. He stuck to the word of Yahweh, his Elohim. And Yahweh holds us accordingly. Does the word change because it's your family? Do the rules change because it's your family? Does the word get lighter because it's your family? Should Yahweh just understand because it's your sugar boo? Or is he going to hold us accountable? Go ahead, brother. You finish that?
Also, you shall not oppress a stranger. You know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
All right, let's go to James chapter 5. See, it's needful for us to deal with these things beforehand so that when we get ready to go through our fasting and praying for atonement, we know what things ought to be coming out of our mouth. See, people don't understand why I do these classes before atonement. No, you need to know what it is. You're supposed to be praying while you are afflicting your soul. What's the use of me doing it on the day of atonement? You need to be getting ready. At least you say the watchman didn't warn me, Yahweh. Before you even finish getting that out of your mouth, Yahweh gonna be like, you lying, because I know him. No, he crazy. He not wrapped too tight. I got him from some sick and twisted individuals. I know what he's capable of. He was the only crazy one I picked. He was like, that one. Yeah, he is psychotic. Come here. No. See, Yahweh don't choose men like everybody else. See, he knew he was going to have somebody. I'm going to make your face harder than a rock. Because you're going to have to deal with some peculiar individuals. All right. Yahweh know his family. He know his family. Go ahead, brother.
Jacob chapter 2 and verse 1.
Jacob chapter 5. Yep. Chapter 5. And let's start that at verse 13.
Okay. Is any among you afflicted? Let him pray. Is any merry? Let him sing psalms. Is any sick among you?
Is any sick among you? Go ahead.
Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Adonai.
So, if there's any sick among you, then there is this prayer of faith. But there has to be confession that the person is sick. Is it the job of the elders of the church to go and find the other individuals? Anybody sick in there? I said, anybody need prayer now? Is it their job to go house to house? What does the word say? Is any sick among you? Let him call. So, does the prayer of faith of the elders and leaders of the congregation, can it even help somebody who says, I ain't sick, ain't nothing wrong with me? Will Yahweh even hear that prayer? As if I pray for Kish, I watch Kish limp. Kish, there's something wrong with your foot. No, it ain't. I say, oh, Yahweh, please help fix Kish foot. That little pinky toe is crusty and it's falling off. And it causes him to limp. Oh, please fix that little crusty pinky toe. So as I offer up my prayer, Yahweh said, no, I went to Kish. I saw the crusty pinky toe. But Kish said he ain't got no problem. I can't hear that prayer. That your prayers be not hindered. See, there's so many things that can hinder your prayers. How I'm going to pray to heal him and he said, I ain't got no problem. Go ahead, brother.
You know, even with Yahshua, every time before he healed somebody, the first thing he asked was, do you believe? First of all, in order for you to believe, you have to accept the fact that there is something wrong with you.
Right. But see, we got too much pride and arrogance to even admit that there's an issue. Therefore, the condition has no choice but to get worse because we can't even acknowledge that there's a condition. Read, man.
You know, one more thing is that even on the Sabbath, we pray, we entreat the angel to come. Class is over. None of us know when the angel leaves. We've never forbidden anybody to come in here, close the sanctuary, and fall before the altar and pray.
Ooh, you better say that then. So we thought because it was 3 o'clock, the angel left right out of here. Look at that, boy, you better say that. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 15. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Adonai shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him.
Look at that. If they have committed sins, they shall be forgiven. But can they be forgiven? If the person is declaring that they ain't done nothing, they don't need no help. Read, bro.
Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another.
Pray one for another. How can I pray for a person that say ain't that wrong? But I'm watching your problem. See, I already been through your problem. So I recognize every corner of the problem. But I can't make you acknowledge it. Go ahead.
That you may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much.
Yeah, but listen. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that you may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. But not if you don't acknowledge you actually have an issue. See, what we want is, this is how the arrogant work. They won't help without asking for it. And somebody just said, my tie flat. I said, kiss my tie flat. Did you ask me a damn question? Would you like for me to change your flat tire?
Well, if you got time.
You out your rabbit mind. Read, man.
Elias was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain.
Well, I mentioned my problem. I said I had a flat tire. Did you ask a question? Right. Read, man.
And it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth fruit.
He's showing you how much a righteous prayer does. A righteous man prayed and just stopped raining. That's the power of prayer of a righteous individual. But we want to get the prayers of the righteous, but we ain't going to ask.
I just want to kind of lightly throw it out there. Just there.
You know, even the dude on the corner, we don't have to ask because he tells us, can you spare some change, my brother? Even he asked for what he wanted. But we already knew when we saw him standing on the corner of the highway that he needed some money. But even still, he asked. How arrogant did we just throw out a problem? Like it's somebody else's job to fix your problem without you asking. Go ahead, bro.
You know, for that person on the corner, they really have to humble themselves and swallow that pride.
Exactly. It was humbling to stand on that corner. Because there's some of us, we would die before we get on that corner. And if we find a corner, we're going to find a corner way where we don't live.
Try further.
Go ahead, bro.
And the earth brought forth her fruit. Brethren, and if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death, and shall hide a multitude of sins.
Hide a multitude of sins. Let him know that he which converts the sinner from the error of his way. That's some work to convert the sinner from the error of his way. You might have to fight with somebody to convert a sinner from the error of his or her way. Do you love them enough to fight with them? Or you just got that Saturday love? Go ahead, bro.
That was it.
That was it? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 12. So you have to decide you love somebody enough. There's an uncomfortable part in love. That we have to make a decision if we're going to deal like that. See, when I got kicked out of school, when I got kicked out of that first school, I said, Mama, they were tripping. Second school, my mama said, baby, what happened? I said, Mama, they tripping. Third school, I got kicked out of, baby, what happened? Mama, they tripping. Fourth school, mama's baby. It can't be everybody. Next school, baby, what happened? Mama, I be tripping. But without acknowledgement, I was not able to graduate. After I acknowledged I'm the cause of this, then I was able to graduate. There are some that will get into altercation after altercation, and none of the altercations are ever their fault. That's why the causes of the altercation has not been fixed, because they will not accept what causes each altercation. See, there's a problem when none of those individuals have had a problem with anybody else, just you. It can't be everybody. I had to come to that realization. Did all the principals get together?
All right, when you see this individual, this is his picture right here. I'm going to show you. It's Esaac. When you see him, give him hell.
Did they have some kind of principal meeting and decide that they were going to start some stuff with me? Understand, these schools were greatly separated, okay? Because see, after you get kicked out of one school, you can't just go to the school next to it. You have to go to a school in another county. So these principals would have to have a multiple county meeting, you see, to devise a plan against me for it to all be their fault and none of the responsibility being mine. It's amazing how we can conjure up that in our mind and believe that it's just. 1 Samuel chapter 12, and let's start at verse 1.
And Samuel said unto all Israel, Behold, I have hearkened unto your voice and all that you said unto me, and have made a king over you. And now, behold, the king walks before you, and I am old and gray-headed. And, behold, my sons are with you, and I have walked before you from my childhood unto this day. Behold, here I am, witness against me before Yahweh, and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken?
Why does each leader end up having to do this? Have y'all noticed that Moshe, basically, at his last days, he started doing the same thing? Whom have I defrauded? Tell me whose stuff I took. Why does each leader have to do that? Because that's Israel. What Israel will do is find an excuse not to deal with any of the things that's being put forth. With Moshe, I don't like the wife he married. We all holy. So since they didn't like the wife he married, all of a sudden, now everybody holy. Damn. So a brother can marry somebody and then everybody else get holiness? That was amazing. Right. Good?
Or whose ass have I taken? Or whom have I defrauded? Whom have I oppressed?
Right.
Or
bring your cause. Produce your cause. Who convinces me of sin? Not according to what you think, feel, and believe. Open up this book and show me. Go ahead.
Or of whose hand have I received any bribe to blind mine eyes therewith? And I will restore it you.
Come now. I'll take care of this business. If you say I owe you, let's settle this account. Go ahead.
And they said, you have not defrauded us, nor oppressed us.
Right.
Neither have you taken aught of any man's hand.
And he already know he ain't done it. But why they have to do this with Israel? See? Go ahead.
And he said unto them, Yahweh's witness against you, and his anointed is witness this day, that you have not found aught in my hand. And they answered, He is witness. And Samuel said unto the people, It is Yahweh that advanced Moshe and Aaron, and that brought your fathers up out of the land of Egypt. Now therefore stand still, that I may reason with you before Yahweh of all the righteous acts of Yahweh, which he did to you and to your fathers. When Jacob was come into Egypt, and your fathers cried unto Yahweh, then Yahweh sent Moshe and Aaron, which brought forth your fathers out of Egypt, and made them dwell in this place. And when they forgot Yahweh their El, he sold them into the hand of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazar, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab, and they fought against them. And they cried unto Yahweh, and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken Yahweh.
So they cried unto Yahweh, and they made confession. Step one, I have done something wrong. We keep wondering why we're in the same state year after year. Because you say you have not done anything wrong. Why do I need to offer you forgiveness? Why do I need to offer you any consolation, anything? You say you don't need it. Well, call me when you need me. But you know how to call me. Go ahead.
And they cried unto Yahweh and said, We have sinned, because we have forsaken Yahweh, and have served Baalim and Ashtaroth.
Not just we have sinned, I'm going to tell you what we did. See, we're not going to play. This is that thing that we do. We done straight stab somebody, and we say, forgive me if I have offended you. I mean, I don't know how I could have offended you. Unless, okay, I mean, it could be the knife that I put in your bag. You think? Go ahead, bro.
But now deliver us out of the hand of our enemies, and we will serve you. And Yahweh sent Jerubbaal and Bedan and Jephthah and Samuel, and delivered you out of the hand of your enemies on every side, and you dwelt safe. And when you saw that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, came against you, you said unto me, No, but a king shall reign over us, when Yahweh your El was your king. Now therefore, behold the king whom you have chosen.
Behold the king whom you have chosen. See, Israel has this issue. Yahweh appoints who he wants to be over Israel, but Israel says, I want somebody else to be over me. I don't like the choosing of Yahweh. Then when it goes horrible, we go back crying to the same Elohim who we wouldn't obey. Boy, we some. Go ahead.
And whom you have desired. And behold, Yahweh has set a king over you. If you will fear Yahweh and serve him and obey his voice, and not rebel against the commandments of Yah, then shall both you and also the king that reigns over you continue following Yahweh your Elohim.
Check this out. Yahweh wasn't even ready to give him a king, but he said, if you do these things, then I will not only uphold you, I'll uphold this king whom I didn't even pick. But that's the power that you got, Israel. Because you came confessing unto me and asking for what you wanted, even though it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. You demanded it because you have power with me. I gave it to you. But I also gave you some stipulations. We're so happy that we done got what it is we wanted. We forget the stipulation. See, we go down and get us a new car. They said no money down. No money down, baby. I got this. we drive. Then the payment come. Wait a minute. This was part of the agreement. That was just no money down in the beginning. You got to make this payment. Go ahead.
But if you will not obey the voice of Yahweh, but rebel against the commandments of Yahweh, then shall the hand of Yahweh be against you as it was against your fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore stand and see this great thing, which Yahweh will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call unto Yahweh, and he shall send thunder and rain, that you may perceive and see that your wickedness is great, which you have done in the sight of Yahweh in asking you a king.
Right. And understand, Yahweh reasoned with them. Tell them what manner of king they're going to get. Nonetheless, understand, they will not hearken unto you, even though you go and tell them all these things, because they won't listen to me. So I know they're not going to listen to you. But tell them anyway, because this is how you secure your salvation. Go ahead.
So Samuel called unto Yahweh, and Yahweh sent thunder and rain that day. And all the people greatly feared Yahweh and Samuel. And all the people said unto Samuel, Pray for your servants unto Yahweh your El, that we die not, for we have added unto all our sins this evil, to ask us a king.
You see us, hindsight, he already had said all that. But because we them people who like signs, once we see the thunder and all of that, now,
Oh my God, we have sinned.
now you read, man.
And Samuel said unto the people, Fear not, you have done all this wickedness. Yet turn not aside from following Yahweh, but serve Yahweh with all your heart.
Serve Yahweh with all your heart. Yes, you have done wrong. But if you serve Yahweh with all your heart, we can work this out. Go ahead.
And turn you not aside, for then should you go after vain things, which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. For Yahweh will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because it has pleased Yahweh to make you his people. Moreover, as for me, Elohim forbid that I should sin against Yahweh in ceasing to pray for you, but I will teach you the good and the right way. Only fear Yahweh and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he has done for you.
Do we even understand what great things Yahweh our Elohim has done for us? Do we even stop to consider that? Or we just move on from one day to the next? Go ahead.
But if you shall still do wickedly, you shall be consumed, both you and your king.
Both you and your king. Let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Matthew chapter 18. Matthew chapter 18, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
At the same time came the disciples unto Yahshua, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahshua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
And you know what's amazing? We spend the most time trying to protect the children, and they have a better chance to enter into the kingdom than we do. See, children don't learn vindictive things. They pick that up from watching us. Them kids will be fighting in the lobby and go in the next room and be friends again. It's their mamas we have to watch after that point. Their mamas and daddies sitting over there chewing on rock. The kids playing again. The parents over there chewing on rock.
They hit my son. And it looked like that little black one got the better one.
So now we calling hours over and giving them punching tips.
All right, look. I want you to hit him under that left rib.
Ah, man. Come on, man. Your kid done already forgot about it. But see, this the vindictive parents going at it now. This ain't the children. Except you be converted and become as these little children, you have a problem. The children back playing, they ain't plotting against each other. That's the mom and daddy plotting. Smiling with nothing but gallon.
Shalom.
Whenever you shalom and you got the wide nose, if your nostrils flared when you shalom, and your lip tight, shalom. Keep that peace. Because something wrong with it. Read, bro.
Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receives me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
Do we even understand who the spiritual little ones are? And we have no problem becoming offensive to the people who have entered into covenant with Yahweh. See, there's some people that just do some things, and then there's other people who have entered into covenant. Come rain, hail, sleet, snow, they gonna come and do their job. There's people I can close my eyes and they say such and such. I say, yeah, I bet they're gonna be there. Something happened, I know who gonna be there. Those are the people who have entered into things by covenant. I'll be in my office and the brother supposed to be cleaning that office. Brother come move me out my damn office. Hey, brother, I ain't trying to be disrespectful or nothing. But I need to get up in here. Yeah, that's how you sound, man. Don't be trying to do. Oh, I didn't say it soft enough. Hey, yo. Hey, brother. Hey, yo. Because, you know, he'll run that R&B voice on you sometimes. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, look, bro. Hey. Like, bro, who you trying to? Hey, hold on, bro. Don't talk to me in your soft voice. You know what I'm saying? I need you to say it with your chest when you talk to me, bro. Don't come in here with your R&B voice with me, huh? Go ahead, man.
Verse 7. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense comes.
Woe unto that man who brings the offense. Do we not even operate in fear? Do you think the angel carries the sword in vain? Go ahead, bro.
Wherefore, if your hand or your foot offend you, cut them off and cast them from you. It is better for you to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire.
Right. But what if that hand or the foot is the closest thing unto you spiritually? Are you strong enough to cut it off so that you can enter into the kingdom? Or you thought Kingdom Walk was a buddy system?
I'll go if you go. I'll accept salvation if you accept salvation.
You think Yahweh got a buddy judgment system? Welcome to judgment. Where is your buddy? Go get your buddy and come back here. No. Go ahead, bro.
And if your eye offend you, pluck it out and cast it from you. It is better for you to enter into life with 1 eye, rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire. Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones. For I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost.
Now do understand who he's talking to in the beginning. At the same time, the disciples come unto Yeshua, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. All of this, he is teaching his disciples. Go ahead.
How think you? If a man have 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray, does he not leave the 99 and goeth into the mountains, and seek that which is gone astray?
But what if he go all the way to go get that sheep and that sheep said, I ain't lost? I know exactly where I'm going. Up there. What if he go to get that sheep and that sheep bite his hand? Go ahead, bro.
And if so be that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoiced more of that sheep than of the 99 which went not astray.
Look at that. Go ahead.
Even so, it was not the will of your Father which is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. Moreover, if your brother shall trespass against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he shall hear you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear you, then take with you 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto you as an heathen man and a publican. Verily, I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Stop. Verily, I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Does everybody have that power? Because you know, it's some things that said right here, and then people take that and run with it. So anybody who said, you know what? I am going to bind this on earth, and heaven going to do what I do. Do Joe the plumber have this power? Keep reading.
And whatsoever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
Right. So whatever I say here, heaven is going to make sure I'm right and change what the angels do. Does every man have that power? Because if so, heaven a mess. Right?
Again, I say unto you, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven.
If 2 of you, 2 who? 2 who? So we get 2 heathens together, and if they agree, all heaven is changed? What if these 2 heathens get together, and then them 2 heathens get together, and then these 2 heathens get together, but all those heathens have different ideas. So does all heaven change because these 6 heathens found them one other heathen friend to get with? Read, bro.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Right. So is that 2 or 3 heathens, or 2 or 3 of these little ones who have the power to bind things on earth and in heaven? So you got 3 heathens getting together thinking that heaven just changed because they got together. Oh, it changed, all right. They finding all the matches to light that fire. Go ahead.
Then came Cephas to him and said, Adonai, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Yahshua says unto him, I say, not unto you until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Right. So then we're supposed to be in a forever forgiveness state. But are we commanded to forgive our brethren or our sisters who don't repent? Do we just automatically offer forgiveness although they have not acknowledged that they have done anything? Keep reading.
Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, his master commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Adonai, have patience with me, and I will pay you all.
Have patience with me. See, we want salvation and forgiveness at our house. But salvation and forgiveness need to go to the house next door to yours too. And next to that. And next to that. It can't just be for your house. Go ahead.
Then the master of the servant was moved with compassion.
Moved with compassion because of the display that was given. Go ahead.
And loosed him and forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that you oweth. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay you all. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison.
Now, verse 24. When he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. Verse 28. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants which owed him 100 pence. He was forgiven 10,000. But he'll choke somebody out for 100. Go ahead.
So he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what was done.
So these are other servants. See, people watch what happens. So you find somebody who they look and they see a situation, they see somebody's dealings, and then they all, hey man, I try not to get in people's business, man, but this right here didn't look right. Go ahead.
They were very sorry and came and told unto their master all that was done. Then his master, after that he had called him, said unto him, O you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you desired me. Should not you also have had compassion on your fellow servant, even as I had pity on you? And his master was angry and delivered him to the tormentors, so he should pay all that was due unto him.
Right, so the blessing was taken away. Go ahead.
So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if you from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespasses.
Right. But we also have Yahshua's instructions that says if your brother sin against you, rebuke him. So in that point, you speak to your brother or your sister, but if they don't receive that, then it's impossible to repent. We are not ordered to offer forgiveness. It says, if your brother sin against you, rebuke him. If he repent, forgive him. That's the equation. And what happened? People watch situation after situation after situation. It was the other people that went and brought this. Hey, this person who you forgave, look at how they do everybody else. They only want forgiveness in their house. They don't offer it in nobody else's. Y'all sure watching? We have a atonement that we're about to begin at sundown. Well, we are going to afflict our souls. We will not eat for 24 hours. Those who are under medication, enter into that lightly. If you have medication, you may want to do what you have to do to be able to take that medication. It don't do you no good to fast and pass.
Attempt Yahweh. Word.
No. So consider those things. And as we are fasting and denying our flesh, be mindful of the things that we should be praying about during that time. But I guess if ain't nothing wrong with you, I guess you ain't got nothing to pray about. Let every man judge his own heart. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.